Hello, dear viewers. The School of Nomads is on the air. One of the first Turkic peoples who mastered agriculture were the Uyghurs. They say that every Uyghur must have a garden in a private house, because planting trees, caring for a vegetable garden and reaping the benefits for this people is an integral tradition. Has agriculture survived to this day? How have the Uyghur melon farming methods changed? To find out the answers to all these questions, today I'm going to visit Aksakal Asim. The Uyghur people began farming 1500 years ago. Prior to this, the Uyghurs adhered to a lifestyle similar to the northern nomadic tribes, but the influence of China from the east, India from the west, as well as the Persian and Sogdian tribes became a prerequisite for the beginning of the process of developing settled agriculture. The Uyghurs began to grow vegetables and fruits, plant gardens, and sow fields. This people continues to engage in agriculture to this day. Every Uyghur who has a home considers it his duty to grow a garden. And in rural areas, they actively sow fields and sell crops. Asim Karimbakiyev devoted most of his life to growing his garden, but he doesn't just plant fruit trees, he also calibrates. Sizing fruits is sorting them by size manually or using a special sizing machine. A gardener by vocation, but he used to be a civil servant. 53 years ago, he met his soulmate, Patigul, and now their family has 3 daughters, 2 sons, 12 grandchildren, and 5 great-grandchildren. Let's take a look at the Karimbakiyev's house together. Mr. Asim, what a beautiful garden you have! Such an abundance! What's growing here?
Енді емек ішпек дейміз, өзіміздің помидор, баклажан, перец.
Here, tomatoes, eggplant, peppers, cucumbers for home. There are also peaches, 3 varieties, 5 kinds of apples. 5 kinds? How many varieties of pears? There are also 3 types, and the same amount of grapes. There are varieties of bullseye, Taifi pink, Uyghur marble. Children with grandchildren and great-grandchildren come together all this harvest. Of course, natural products are always good for the body, but I noticed that you have some rare plants here as well. It was brought here from Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. Is this some kind of dates? Yes, it's a date. The apricots are already finished, and now apples and pears are ripening. What do you say if I help you to collect them? Come on! Great! Let's go!
Вот, допустим, груша, лесная красавица.
For example, these are forest pear and apples. We collect them.
Как делаем? Зимой
How we do it?
варенье.
In winter, we make compote, jam. This is our work.
Керемет.
Excellent. We collect. We need an assistant to collect.
Мен сізге қазір көмектесемін.
I'll help you now. How do you collect them?
Приспособление бар ма?
There is a special device. You pick ripe ones. Here, like this. How do you know which ones are ripe?
Піспегенін қайдан білемін мен оны?
There, they are big. Is it necessary to take large ones? Large, and so red. What a flavor.
Мен
Is it ripe? Yes, it is.
Сол піскен.
Well, let's try.
көрейік.
О,
Yes, really ripe fruit.
Мынау өте керемет құрал.
It is a very convenient thing, right?
Жерде
Helps out when you can't reach it with your hands. It seems that this one is also suitable.
сондай піскен.
ал
Here. That's lovely.
қандай керемет.
Did you invent this tool yourself?
Жоқ,
Бұл
No, I bought it.
арын
Is it made by order?
специально
You can find it in special stores.
керемет.
How convenient! And if so, then let's collect everything.
вот это называется
This is called chilan. I brought it from China, from Gulja.
таким маленьким.
It was such a small seedling.
Попал персик один.
Here is one peach. In the first year, we got one peach.
Ну,
Not yet ripe, but it will soon ripen. It is called chilan. The birthplace is China.
Китай.
Here, few people have it. 3 or 2 have it, in my opinion, and I gave the seedlings myself.
И то саженцы я сам давал.
Сізден алған.
Did they take it from you?
Мына көріп,
Yes, you see the harvest.
Бірақ бұл әлі
But these are still unripe fruits. Yes,
болады.
when will it ripen? After 10-15 days. Great.
Тамаша.
Uyghurs are big lovers of flowers. In almost every garden, you can see a small flower garden full of your favorite flowers. Tulips, roses, asters, malvas and barkuts. Women often decorate a skull cap with these flowers, and men sometimes prick them on the yarn or on the chest. So the question of agriculture among the Uyghurs is a very broad and rather deep question, since it covers a significant time period, well over 1,500 years old, and it literally reflects all life. Everyday life, culture of applied art in general, the worldview, religious vision and mentality of the people.
И земли. Ну, прежде всего, это, конечно, пропитание и жизнеобеспечение.
The connection between the Uyghurs and the land is, first of all, of course, food and life support.
Соответственно,
Uyghurs grow a huge amount of vegetables, fruit and herbs,
и на традиционных блюдах. В садоводстве
and accordingly, this is reflected in cooking and in traditional dishes.
иной опыт.
Seasonality prevails in gardening and agriculture among the Uyghurs, that is, one or another vegetable or fruit corresponds to a certain season.
Который больше распространен.
There is one peculiarity of Uyghur agriculture. It is called carriers. This is an irrigation system that is more common in the Tupan Plain, in the Tupan Depression. And the meltwater from the tops of the mountains goes to the gardens and to the city, but underground. It turns out along the slope of the grass, wells are cut vertically. From below it is connected into such a single collector system, and the meltwater goes underground to the city, to the fields.
Полей.
The Uyghurs did not invent the system of carriers themselves. Just like the sedentary culture as well as gardening, it was adopted from the ancient Persians, from the Sogdians.
Если
But the scales are different if in Iran, in Iraq, in the homeland of the carriers,
считанные
it is a few kilometers. There is no more than 900 meters or 1,000 meters. The uniqueness of Turfan carriers is that they stretch for tens of kilometers, and this is a colossal human labor.
по по трудозатратам он...
In terms of labor costs, it is comparable to the construction of the Great Wall of China. At least in China itself, they compare these two great achievements in terms of labor costs.
Қадірменді көре...
Dear viewers, meet the owner of this house. Untitled is next to me,
Гүл ханым,
the wife of Aksakal Asim. So what are we going to do now?
не істейміз?
Ну, мы сейчас
Well, I have already washed the apples. Now we will cut them.
будем резать на как.
For kakak.
Это называется как.
This is called kakak in our language. Well, dried apples for the winter. That is, we cook for compote.
Готовим.
Түсінікті. Қыстың қамын жазда ойла деген осы қадірменді көрермендер. Мінекей біздер қазір
It is clear. Prepare the sleigh in the summer, as they say. So we will now prepare for winter. Auntie, tell me, they say gardening is good for your health. Do you agree with that?
Келісем,
I agree. What is the use?
заниматься, значит, без
To practice means to be in motion non-stop. When a person is on the move, it is good for health. We never sit. We work all the time.
Патигүл ханым, кез келген ұйғыр жанұясының шаңырағын қарасақ, оларда міндетті түрде бау-бақша.
Whatever Uyghur house you look at, there will be definitely a garden. What does farming mean to you?
Қандай мағына береді?
Для нас это значит жизнь, вот. Все, что растет, это...
This means life to us. We grow everything for ourselves. In the spring, first of all, jusai grows here. We cook all kinds of dishes with jusai. First of all, these are manti. The season of jusai is spring. In winter, we mainly make manti with pumpkin.
Манты делаем с тыквой.
Енді бау-бақшаңыз
There are cucumbers, apples, and pears in your garden, but a separate special place goes to, as I understand it, the pumpkin.
асқабақ.
Many varieties grow here,
Асқабақтың түрлері өте.
lots of.
Осы төңіректе
What can you tell us about them?
Вот тыква...
For example, pumpkins for manti are special. It is shaped like a pear. This is good for manti.
для манты.
And the round ones are called skorter. You can cook it in the oven and a steamed one too. Yes, the closer you get to know the Uyghur people, the more you understand that the pumpkin has a special place in their life. From the very birth until the departure from this life, the Uyghurs are somehow connected with this plant. We talked about its features in detail in the last issue. There are several varieties that are used in different ways. They are not only eaten, but are also used to make various household items. To find out more about this extraordinary product, I will visit a man named Nur Ahmed. In the old days, there were no such dishes to pour liquid. Therefore, the Uyghurs grew pumpkins. Here they opened, cleaned everything inside, and poured tea with this. Used it as a tureen or a jug, made ladles. It is an important plant for the Uyghurs. Now they say that pumpkin has medical properties. Here, a decoction is made from these seeds and drunk when a person has high level of sugar. Well, I don't know, but you definitely can't eat this pumpkin. This is not an edible pumpkin. This is a scoop. In general, pumpkins are of several types. There is fermenti. This is a separate pumpkin variety. There is also a pumpkin from the Tufan region. It used to be baked in the ashes left in the tandoor oven after baking bread. If you stuff the pumpkin with meat and onions and bake in ashes, it will be very tasty. So there are several types. Manti kavak, Tufan kavak. We use it to prepare dishes. All these species ripen in autumn. We are harvesting in September. We collect them and bring them home. They are simply kept at home all winter. A pumpkin is planted in spring, in April, by the end of April, and harvested in September. It grows all summer. Before that, I met with masters who made drums from pumpkins, various souvenirs, dishes, and things necessary in everyday life. I learned in detail all the secrets of their production and even helped to create some items. And now I learned that even a bird cage can be made from a decorative pumpkin. And I just have to see such a cell. That is why I went to see the artisan Ashimjan Abulkarov. Master Ashimjan's yard is very similar to a fairy garden. A lot of beautiful and unusual cages, trills of birds, such a wonderful atmosphere, as if you are in paradise. How beautiful it is here! Hello! Hello, son. How are you? Everything is fine, son, thanks. Excellent. I am very glad to meet you. My name is Yashat. I'm a journalist, and I heard that you are making bird cages from pumpkins. And now I see with my own eyes the confirmation of these words. Dear viewers, pay attention. These beautiful cells were made by Master Ashimjan with his own hands. Such cages from decorative pumpkin or wood are usually made for quails. These birds mainly inhabit the steppes and mountains of Europe and Asia. The tradition of keeping quails has been widespread since ancient times among the peoples of Central Asia. Despite its nondescript appearance, this bird has an amazing voice. In the old days, in the Oriental Bazaar, the cost of a quail could be equal to the cost of a whole camel. The bird owners, fascinated by the beautiful singing, kept them in cages. According to the tradition of our program now, under the strict guidance of the master, I will try to make such a cage. Let's see together what I get. Before we start, Ashimjan Aha, I have a few questions for you. How did you come to this craft? Why did you want to make bird cages? Well, in the city there are few such cell masters. Yes, I haven't heard of such people. I was tired of that. I want to keep the birds, but there were no cells. At first I went to Tashkent for them. But it is far away, therefore I have been making them myself for 5 to 6 years. And since when did you start breeding birds? When I was 13-14 years old, one Uyghur from China lived here. His name was Osman Tas. He taught me. What do you like about birds? When I was little, one person said, if someone has a heartache, let him listen to quail singing in the morning. This will give him healing. How long does it take you to make one such quail cage? Well, if you want to make a good cage, it will take a week. To apply a drawing, paint, varnish, all this can sometimes take up to 10 days. Excellent! In that case, Ashimjan, let's get started. Okay. So you make cells from both pumpkin and wood. How does the work begin? I have some finished ones here which now need to be polished. Should this be inserted inside? Yes, that's right. Now we need to bring it to the middle. Here. Now we need to tighten. Now we need to correct it a bit. And so it turns out. We insert here. Hit harder. That's it. You can remove the rim.
Қадірменді көрермендер, негізгі қаңқасы дайын болды. Одан кейін оны
Well, dear viewers, the frame is ready, but then you still need to saw, cut, drill holes. The result should be a comfortable bird cage. Ashimjan, so what are we going to do now?
Бірінші ізіні барлықты бірдей болсын.
It is necessary that the distance was the same. Must be measured.
Өлшеміз.
Yes, we measure. We draw like this.
Енді мынаның үзі қалған жері.
Now let's sketch the picture here. Let's draw some grapes. Let's make sketches.
Жүзімге
We'll have grapes.
жүзімнің суретін саламын.
Yes, let's draw. First, you need to make a sketch.
енді ескиз дайын.
Now, burning out, outline the contours.
Енді күйдіру
We work by burning out.
Береміз былай. Мына өзінің қалын жасап жібер.
Make it thicker here. This is the outline. Yes, and paint over inside. This is called shading.
Шовка дейді.
It should be easier to apply.
Жасайсың.
Here, do you see those grapes over there? Yes.
Оны бір көк
Look at and remember.
көк
Close your eyes. Then look here.
жұмғаннан кейін мынаған қарайсың.
Here, you need to apply the drawing.
яғни салатын
That is, you have to imagine what you are drawing. All right,
Мына сиқыр қайда?
this is the secret. It is clear.
Біздің суретіміз толықтай.
Our drawing is almost ready, but not completely. After burning out, there is still work, right?
Иә, оны лак енді лакты біреу көк, біреу
Yes.
жасыл.
Now we need to apply varnish. Blue, green, red. Leaves must be painted over separately, berries separately. Then, after varnishing, the grapes and leaves will stand out. We paint over and cover with varnish on top. Come on, I'll show you how we can do it.
Дайын.
Let's go.
Дайын мыналар болады. Көрдің бе? Мына лакты
These are the finished ones. See? This is red varnish with glitter.
көк
Here it is green.
боялған кезде
When you cover it, the pattern is fully seen.
Ашымжан аға
Tell me, why are some cells covered?
екен. Себебі
Because these are young birds, not tamed.
биыл ұстаған жастар
They're easily scared. See, this one too. Here, and there too.
тұрған.
We are closing them so that they slowly get used to it and not be scared.
Анша үркі.
After 2 or 3 years, we take off the covers.
Мыналар
We'll open that bird next year. But the quail caught this year must be closed.
бірақ
Then it will sing faster. That is, in order to get used to it. Yes, for this.
үйрену үшін иә.
Достар, Әшімжан аға маған өте қызықты мәлімет айтты. Назарларыңызда бөдене құсы. Бұл құстар таңертең
Friends, Master Ashimjan told me a lot of interesting things. Here is a quail. These birds begin their singing with the first rays of the sun. They say that if you get up early and listen to quails singing, you can get rid of heart ailments and emotional distress.
әуені сіздің жаныңызға шипа береді.
If a person wants to master a skill and makes every effort for this, of course he will succeed. To love your craft and be faithful to it is a quality that cannot be found in all people, and turning a dear work into a source of income is a rare art. What you learn in the nest, you will meet in life, the ancestors said. Therefore, today I want to meet a man who considered it his duty to continue his father's work and breathe new life into it. Ashimjan talked about a friend who makes kitchen tools. They say he is a master. He has golden hands.
Я занимаюсь поварскими инструментами, как бы.
I make cooking tools. It's like skimmers, all sorts of these knives. We say usually kapkur.
Капкюр.
This should be done with soul. That is, when a person picks up a tool and he feels this energy, then the master left something.
Что мастер оставил что-то.
I completely make all the tools with this 304th metal. It is stainless steel, food-grade stainless steel. It does not magnet, there is no magnet here. It is all completely food-grade stainless steel. The handles are expensive, that is, expensive trees are oak, ash, mahogany, ebony, that is, well, which tree we will use depends on the customer who orders. And I put the handles of dense trees. Why? Because it seems to remain for a long time. As they say now, we have it from grandfather. It has remained from grandmother. May Allah grant that my tools also will be inherited for someone and be used to eat with them. The first time you start making this tool, you start sharpening the thread. Like on a screw, it all sharpens. Then a handle is sharpened on a lathe. All the time we use a glue so it will keep it shut. When I was young, I started to do something. My father always told me if you do it with your soul, then do it. If you don't do it, better don't come up. Don't touch. Because there are machines, everything turns, moves, pots can fly out. Today was full of the most diverse and interesting information. A lot of conversations with the hospitable heroes. Undoubtedly, the influence of various religions and cultures only enriched the development of crafts, traditions, economy, life of the Uyghur people. It is worth noting that the Uyghurs are one of the most ancient peoples with a centuries-old history. For me, acquaintance with representatives of this people who know very well the secrets of economic management and folk crafts is an invaluable life experience. Beautiful songs and dances, delicious food and incredible hospitality. And the friendship of our peoples will last at all times. Dear viewers, my study of the traditions, way of life and national values of the Uyghur people is now over. But this is only a small part of the richest culture of the vast Turkic world. You will learn more about the heirs of the great Turkic civilization together with me in the project The School of Nomads.